Hello everybody and welcome to the Vodafone Park here in Istanbul. Liverpool have just won the UEFA Super Cup for the fourth time in the club's history, joined by Paul Gorst, also of the Liverpool Echo. What did you make of the game, Gorst? It was very odd, really, wasn't it? Liverpool didn't start particularly well. 1-0 down at half-time through that goal from Olivier Giroud. Jurgen Klopp, made the change of bringing on Roberto Firmino. He'd obviously benched him from the start. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was the player who's taken off. His first start since April 2018. He didn't quite happen for him on the left wing. Jurgen Klopp admitted afterwards that basically he had made a mistake by playing him in that position. He wasn't expecting the game to be quite that intense. But Mane equalises, then extra time Mane scores again. Then there's the penalty conceded by Adrian, which Jorginho scores, and then the person who'd been fouled, or apparently fouled, for the penalty, Tammy Abraham, was the player that then Adrian saves from to win the cup for Liverpool. So overall, it was a win, but it wasn't the world's greatest performance for Liverpool, was it?
It wasn't, no. And just running through the events there, a lot happened tonight, didn't it?
Yeah.
We're sitting here now, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, local time, and it was an interesting game. I thought both teams made no bones about it. They wanted it. It was a serious trophy that they wanted to win, and they both went for it. The quality wasn't quite there that you'd find maybe 3 or 4 months into the season for both teams. Obviously finished their second and third last season, didn't they? But I thought Chelsea shaded the first half. They had the better of the chances. Olivier Giroud took his goal very well. Loves scoring against Liverpool, doesn't he?
He does.
He's got another one to his collection tonight. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, first start since April 2018. Difficult night for him, wasn't it? Didn't seem to get many touches, and when he did, it was heavy, and it was.
Yeah, he had that one where he did that one good pass for Salah, when he had the chance. But that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, patience is the watchword for him now for the next few weeks, or however long it takes for him to get back up to speed. He's been out for so long. He was out for a year, wasn't he, with that injury? So it will take time for him to get up to speed. No concerns about him. But Roberto Firmino coming on half time, and the transformation was instant, wasn't it? Within 3 minutes, he just stretched the toe ahead of Kepa and laid it on a plate for Mane, who's tapped it into the unguarded net, and Liverpool are back in business. And from then on, he's pulling the strings for me, and everything's going through him. And I thought he was the best player.
He makes such a difference, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult. I mean, I've written a piece basically saying that he's almost the one player that they can least do without, because obviously Alisson's not playing, and Adrian's ended up being a hero tonight, and that may not have been the case with Alisson being in goal, but Firmino, had he been on from the start, things may have been a little bit different.
Yeah, I think he can sort of try and replicate Mane and Salah with the pace, with 1 or 2 players, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Origi, both fairly quick, aren't they? But no one can quite replicate what Firmino does, because he's got such a unique skill set, almost. He was just absolutely... Everything was going through him in the second half. Everything that Liverpool were doing that was good was his creation, and I think tonight just hammered on the point of how important he is to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Klopp said himself that there's not many players who are like him, is there in that number 9 role, and he's proven it again tonight. So luckily for Liverpool, he was able to be called upon from the bench, and he's delivered.
Well, Ghosty, Liverpool defensively weren't massively convincing, were they? I mean, I picked up on Joel Matip. He started the game excellently. He'd obviously come back into the team. He'd been overlooked for the first 2 games. Joe Gomez, centre-back partner to Virgil van Dijk, but he went to right-back tonight. Trent Alexander-Arnold came on, substitute. Came on for Robertson, didn't he, in extra time period. Matip started very well, had a couple of good challenges. He knocked Pulisic off the pitch at one point, which the crowd loved. But then he just kind of lost his way, and the goal that Chelsea scored, the first goal, that came from like that gap in between Matip and Gomez, which was something that they looked to mind quite a lot, and certainly in the first half, it's less so in the second half, but that's where the goal came from. And just defensively, Liverpool weren't quite at it, as they haven't been throughout the summer. As they weren't against Norwich, they got away with it a little bit there. But it's not just that, it's look at the midfield as well. They don't seem to be covering the gaps as well as they have done over last season, and that's about controlling the game. And as you've mentioned, it is only the third game, second game against the Community Shield, but it's just not quite there yet, is it, for Liverpool in that sense?
It's not, no, but I think against Norwich, tackle-wise, I thought they looked great, particularly the first half, where they just blasted Norwich away. And I think that's down to individuals. They can make the difference more when you're an attacker. I think defensively, it's very much centred around your system and your communication as a unit, and I think that takes time. And fitness level wise, it's still pre-season, is it? This is only the 3rd game. and that's if you count in the Community Shield, which you know you are. So I think eventually it'll come. Liverpool were the best defence in the Premier League last season, 21 clean sheets and only 22 conceded, I think. So I'm not overly concerned. I think for the opening goal, everyone just got a bit too attracted to Christian Pulisic, didn't they? I think they thought it was Eden Hazard, and he had to make sure that he absolutely had to be closed down, because everyone just flocked towards him, left Giroud acres of space, and he tucked it away nicely. But you've got the best defender in the world in their ranks. You could argue they've got the best right and left back as well. Joel Matip's been excellent. Joe Gomez is making his way back to regular first team football, and he was excellent last season. So for the season ahead, I'm not overly concerned about Liverpool's defensive issues, but there was one or two minor concerns tonight for Jurgen Klopp to have a look at.
Good story though for Adrian and his full debut for the club. I mean, what was it, 10 days ago he wasn't even a Liverpool player, and now he's been, you know, he's saved a penalty to win a European trophy in Istanbul. He's the New Jersey Dudek.
Yeah. What can you say? It's funny how fast football changes, isn't it? 10 days ago you wouldn't have thought he'd be anywhere near signing for Liverpool, and then Mignolet goes, he comes on for Alisson at half time, and then wins a Super Cup trophy. It's been a remarkable couple of weeks for him.
Could have been at Valladolid, couldn't he? Yeah.
Could have been, yeah. What can you say? It's interesting because I think he's more similar to Alisson than Simon Mignolet. I think those two goalkeepers are so different, but I think Adrian is Alisson light, if you like. He's nowhere near as good. He's not as good on the ball, but he's got similar qualities. And I think his communication with the defence has been quite good, actually. He seems to be an interesting character. He doesn't take any messing about, and he lets the defenders know. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks for him. And
do you think he was a bit unlucky with the penalty? I don't think it was a penalty.
No, I don't actually.
Which was, if only there was some way that they could check these things.
Oh yeah. Obviously, the history-making official Stephanie Frappart, obviously first female referee to take charge of a major men's game, and I thought, other than the penalty, I thought she was faultless.
But she wasn't helped, was she, by the VAR people? They should have said, like, look, it's not a pen.
I mean, maybe the fourth official on the far side could have had a look at that, but they thought it was a penalty. I'm not sure it did, but thankfully for Liverpool, it hasn't hurt them. Just going back to Adrian, what a strange few weeks it's been for him, and he's now facing possibly the biggest few weeks of his career, you'd say. Made around about 150 appearances for West Ham in the Premier League, but he's at Liverpool now. We're a serious club, and any slight mistake could cost Liverpool dearly when we know the margins are so fine in that title race. And I know it's early to be talking about that, but it's a big test for Adrian now for the next month or so.
Final thing then, did Liverpool deserve it?
Not sure. It was I thought Liverpool had the spells, but so did Chelsea.
If it had been the other way round, if the game had gone the other way round and it was Chelsea that won, would you be saying Liverpool are unlucky, or that's just what happens in finals? Yeah, you have to get the job done?
Probably would, actually, but I thought Liverpool held the nerve in the shootout. Maybe Kepa could have kept out Origi's,
or two, wasn't there? Or
Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he didn't, did he? And Liverpool have stuck theirs away, and Adrian's come up as the hero, and couldn't have imagined saying that 2 weeks ago, but here we are. Liverpool are now European champions, and they've got the Super Cup to go alongside it.